May 1st, got the day off, and it's time to work on the Mack some. Haven't shown the Mack on YouTube in a while. We have been doing some work to it, not a ton, but there is enough to do an update video, I think. And then I've got to also throw on some fuel filters on it and rebuild or replace the mud flap brackets back there and throw some mud flaps on it and go from there. So just kind of starting on the walk around. Still got all the split rims on it, front and rear. We do actually have a set of tires over here for it. We started collecting new one-piece wheels. So these are the two front tires. They're obviously used, but for how many miles this truck's probably going to get, it's probably going to be fine. Then for the rear, we have 4 so far nice recap tires on single-piece wheels as well. So those are going to look pretty sweet on it. We still got to get 4 more. We have enough wheels, but we just need 4 more recap tires for it. So it'll be really nice to get away from these split rims. At the same time as we do that, we're going to hopefully change it over to spring brakes instead. As for update wise, we've got an actual battery box here. This is an R model battery box. As you can see, we still need to throw the cap on it actually. We got the strap running through it. R model boxes are a lot easier to come across compared to B model original boxes. They look really similar, or at least similar enough for us. So that was the easy choice. A lot better than the old B model box that was on it. The last video, I think it was still running off the can under the hood. So we've got the original tank back on here. Still need to build tank straps. Can't really buy those anymore, so it's one of those things you got to build. Also folded out kind of the rocker down here, and the cab corner is a little stoved in when we bought it. Still not perfect by any means. I mean, you can see this has got a lot of texture to it, but yeah, at least door closes and it doesn't look that bad. Interior wise, not much has changed other than we did a glove box door, got a couple of the missing gauges, got the gauge cluster bolted back in. This door, something's wrong with the dash or something. This door does not like closing, and someone built that thing a long time ago. The biggest update on the cab is we have all new windshields in it. We had a glass guy come. He was able to deal with the rust up top there, which we want to repair, but that's kind of a big task getting in there. So for now, we just wanted to get the windshield in it to stop any water from getting in the cab, and he was able to sneak the gasket in there. So it's going to be a definite future thing we need to do is get up there and repair that rust, but for now it's at least sealed up. Also got a mirror mount on this side. We still need to find a cross piece for the diagonal brace because it's still not great, but at least now when we drive it around the farm, you can actually see where you're going when you're backing up, because you cannot see past this dump body, as you can see. So I think this door didn't have a handle on it last time when we was on the channel, and now it doesn't want to close nicely. There we go. So yeah, that's got an extra door latch now. Coming around here to the front, we have the front bumper that I built. So I did a full video on this. Obviously I left it just bare metal. Decided that letting it rust up naturally, and hopefully the caps will blend in here soon to the actual original rust of the channel. It's going to look nice. Didn't want to go throwing a fresh black bumper on a truck that looks like this, because we are kind of trying to leave it as a patina truck. We did find the parts to replace these marker lights to get rid of those wrong ones. Motor wise, nothing's really happened. Had some issues with the compressor the other day where it wouldn't build air, and ended up pulling the intake screen off of it and cleaning it out. It was full of some stuff, and now it builds air fine again. So and we checked the breather, clean that out, and rehook that up to the air intake because it was not hooked to the intake when we got the truck. Another not so updated thing, but an updated issue, I guess, is had a little job on the farm for it. Wanted to use it as a dump truck as it's intended, and realized the bed doesn't go up nearly as high as we thought it should. So we were trying to figure out if it was a fluid level thing. The tank's right here on it. Tried different levels of fluid, and no matter what we seem to do, it wouldn't want to go up all the way. It gets about 2/3 of the way we think it should go up, and then it kind of stops. So we were trying to fill the tank all the way up and then set this up as like an overflow. We tried a couple different things and couldn't get the bed to want to go up all the way. So I don't know if we have a weak pump or weak cylinders or what it is, but needless to say, the bed doesn't really want to work right now. So we're hoping to figure that out so we can use it around the farm some, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a dump truck. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything we've done. I think that side also didn't have a wing window in the last video. We found one of those, put it in. Found two door. I think we were missing one of the door panels originally, so got that in. So yeah, it's starting to get more of a complete truck, but just needs a lot of work. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap these filters on here. We got two brand new fuel filters because it was running kind of funny the other day, and figured it at a minimum could use fuel filters. So get those swapped on here, and then we'll fire it up and get it moved to the shop to start replacing the mud flap brackets. All right, so got our fresh Napa fuel filters in here. The secondary is at 3216 and the primary is at 3219. Got this filled up, got them on, and hopefully that'll take care of our running issues. The old filters were full of junk. Got them sitting up there draining. So I think that's the reason why it's kind of running a little funky sometimes. It's just knocking stuff up from the bottom of the filter and trying to suck it up. So because the truck's acting like it's running out of fuel when it's running weird. So when we put the tank on, we did clean it out. So it's a clean tank. The lines in theory are clean. The filters are just the last thing that needed to be replaced, and we were kind of waiting for that reason for them to collect any junk. So now we got these fresh filters on here. Might have to change them again in the near future, but hopefully it's just good to go for a little while because these filters are not cheap. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the truck fired up here, and we'll get it pulled around to the front of my shop. All right, so went up to the front of the engine and pumped on the priming plunger a little bit. Usually needs that anyway when it's been sitting, but especially now that I pulled the filter off. So see how she does. It's in neutral. Huh, it is not happy today. Well, I think I'm gonna either need to throw a battery charger on it, or I don't really want to, but you know, with a quick sniff of ether would probably get it going too. But I don't want to run this battery all it did, so probably do that real quick. All right, hit it with a tiny bit of ether and plunge some more fuel into it. So let's see if it goes now. Now she's gonna go. Good oil pressure though, so. Not a happy camper. Truck idles extremely well. So it's, like I said, it's May 1st in Maryland, so it's not that cold here. I'm just in a sweatshirt, but sure was not happy this morning. It started way better the other day. Must have had an air bubble in that fuel line after I did the fuel filters, even though I filled them up, but we'll just let it warm up here and hopefully draw fuel back up to itself all the way and see if it's happy then. Sure sounds like it could die right now. All right, let it warm up for a few minutes here. It seemed like for a little while it was kind of running out of fuel, but getting fuel now. Running a lot better, so hopefully it was just working through an air bubble, I guess. So we'll let it warm up a couple more minutes. We got plenty of air pressure, it looks like, so we'll go ahead and get it pulled up to the front of the shop. All right, so made it about 100 yards, and it ran out of fuel, I think. I know there's like 10 gallons of fuel in this tank. I mean, you can hear it. So I guess I'm gonna try and who knows, maybe it's got a big air bubble in it, I don't know. So we're gonna go ahead and plunge it some more, which that has suction on it, which I don't know what that means, but I don't think that's good. So I think it means can't talk. I think that means it needs to be bled off then, this fuel right to here at least, because if that's pulling a vacuum, that's probably not great. So of course it's blocking the road right now, and that's not too good. So I need to go ahead and get it fired up again. So I guess I'm gonna start bleeding off stuff. All right, so it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks now since the last time I really screwed this thing. So in the last clip that you guys saw, which was back then, was this thing had ran out of fuel right in the middle of my driveway and would not fire up. It ran out of fuel, but it was full of fuel, and it still is. So what I ended up doing was I was able to get it fired up enough to move it out of the way, and then I put a 1 gallon fuel can full of diesel fuel right here and put the pickup line and the return line right in the tank, and that got me back over to the shop. But I still don't really know what's going on with why it doesn't want to pick up fuel from the tank. So what I just did was take a air gun and I lightly blew through the return line and the primary line. And I mean, it was going all the way clear to the tank, and you can see it splashed up a little bit. So I know that is good. Or at least now I know it's good. It could have a blockage. So now I'm going to go ahead and hook it all back up and start messing with the plunger again and just see if that seems like it's actually pumping fuel or whatnot. And I think I'm just going to have to slowly go through the process of elimination. I don't know what else to do, so we'll see. So we'll hook the lines up, see if we can get it fired up, let it run, leaving it sit here so it doesn't die in the middle of the driveway again, and we'll go from there. All right, so got both lines hooked up here. This is a little return line. That's the primary line. So now we're gonna start pumping here. Finally getting some pressure, so that's good. So, gave out a good amount of pumps. We'll see if she fires up now. Okay, cool. So I might have to pull the fuel filters and fill those up. Also, we'll probably pump on it some more and hook up my truck and jump it, because that battery's getting kind of weak. So I'll get back to you when we do all that. All right, so pumped the primer a few more times and hooked up my jump pack to the truck, and we'll see if it's gonna go this time. Got oil pressure, that's a good sign. Running rough though. Doesn't seem like it fully has fuel. All right, now it's running. So let's see how long it wants to stay running. I'm also gonna bump that idle up a little bit, which is an adjustment right down there. Really low, I think. So I'm gonna change that, and we'll let it sit here and run and see if it seems to be happy or not now. All right, so it's been sitting here running for a couple minutes, pretty happy. Definitely doesn't seem like it's running low on fuel, but I have discovered an issue here. This is a separate fuel shutoff right here. So if I hit that, it shuts off fuel and slowly kills the motor. It's leaking like a sieve. So I'm going to try and tighten that up, or, you know, see if I can seal it up. If not, I might do away with that because it has a mechanical shut off in the cab already. So I don't necessarily need that. Or I might replace it, who knows. So right now I'm going to try and just seal it up. Alright, so this is the thing that was leaking in the last video. So I found out I could pull the input adapter, or sorry, the output, 90 off, which threads very nicely into the pump, and I thread taped it because that's the style thread it is. I forget what style it's called. And then I put the original line back on. So doing away with this right now, which I don't really think we need. And I think it's internally leaking. I don't think it was a leak on either end. So hopefully that'll get rid of this leak out here. So I need to hook the air cleaner back up because I pulled that off because it's in the way. And hopefully we no longer have a leak up here, which will hopefully also mean there's no more air getting in the system there. So I don't know if that's our total problem or if that's just a separate issue, but either way it needed to be fixed because you can see this whole motor is just getting drenched in diesel fuel over here. So hopefully that's solved. So I'm going to throw the air intake on it and fire it back up. All right, so got the air intake back on. Pop our mechanical shutoff back in. Fire it right up. It's gonna take a second to even out because a lot of fuel drained out of that line when I fixed it. I think that line runs right over the filters and it drained a good bit of one filter, so. Sounds like it's smoothed out already though. And I don't see a leak, so call that a success.
Great success.
So we're gonna go ahead and let it run for a while longer before I go ahead and try and move it again. We also have a couple tires. It's sitting on a lean right now. I don't know if you can tell. I kind of half parked it on a hill by accident. That tire's looking a little low, but I don't really want to mess with it, so.
The employee is in the greatest danger when inflating the tire. If the rim components are not assembled properly, air pressure in the tire can force the rim to blow out and strike a mechanic.
A couple of these are probably very low, but sooner or later we do have fresh tires for it, as I showed, I think, in the last time I was working on this. So I'm just gonna let these stay low. It doesn't really matter. We're not saving these wheels or tires, so I'll let it run for a minute and then we'll go from there.